Hello guys!
Here's me. So, in today's video, I will be editing some of the screenshots from Ghibli films that I found online, and I'll be making the characters look like NCT members. The first picture is from Kiki's delivery service, and I decided to use Lucas and Jungwoo for this one. First of all, I looked for some pictures that I would be using as a reference. I chose Lucas from the Be Live, where he said that love has no age, that he doesn't care about the age of his fans or whatever. And as for Jungwoo, I didn't really have anything in mind, so I just looked for a random picture and chose some fan sign picture, I think. The first thing I did was delete the guy's glasses because Lucas would be wearing a different type of glasses. And I started redrawing his hair because the guy in the picture had a really different type of hairstyle than Lucas does. Then I started coloring it and deleting all the parts that were not supposed to be there, like strands of hair outside the area that I drew. And after that, I started drawing his clothing, his shirt to be specific. And this is what took me the most time in this picture because of that pattern he had on his shirt. I really regret using this picture as a reference. So yeah, the first thing I did was do the basic coloring, adding the base color, whatever. And then I started adding the pattern. I used 2 different colors of blue so that it would be a bit more interesting to see. And I did everything part by part because I wanted everything to just go together well. After that, I colored over the striped shirt so he would be wearing only white shirt. And I gave him a new pair of glasses that would look a bit like Lucas's glasses, I guess. This wasn't very complicated to do. Now, as for the girl, Jungwoo, I first took the color of her skin and drew over her fringe so that I could draw a new fringe for Jungwoo. And to be honest, I'm not really happy with the outcome of his hair, but it's okay, I guess. It was the first edit I was doing, so it was a bit harder because I didn't know really what I was doing exactly. But as time passed by, I got used to doing this type of editing. Here I'm just copying and pasting some parts of the hair so that it would look a bit Ghiblish, whatever. And here I'm coloring the hair. I really like this hair color on Jungwoo, and I hope he wears it often. It just suits him, I guess. It suits his flower boy image. Now I'm just copying and pasting the parts of the background so that I would mask all the parts of the girl's hair or accessories that I didn't want to be seen in the picture. And it was quite a time-consuming process because I didn't want to draw over it. I just wanted it to look like it was from the film, from the original screenshot. So because of that, I had to copy and paste a lot of parts and just multiply them so that it would make final picture in the end. And here I'm coloring Jungwoo's clothes. I didn't really put much effort in it because there just wasn't a lot to add. I just made him wear a cardigan and a white shirt. and that was about it for Jungwoo's clothing. Here I'm adding a bit of blush to the characters, and here's the final product. The next picture I'm using is from Ponyo, and I'm using Jisung and Chanle. Here I'm drawing over the girls' clothes and adding Chanle's uniform from We Young era. And here I'm drawing his hair so that it's a bit shorter than hers and coloring it purple. And here I'm adding a bit of shades, just making it look more natural. And of course, some details to his clothing, such as chains and white stripes and stuff. Yeah, this is where I accidentally colored it the wrong color, but it's okay, you can always change the colors. Here I'm drawing Jisung's clothes. They're quite similar to Chanle's. He just has a bit more details, which took me some time to add, but it's not that hard. Stripes, white shorts, some more details. Here I'm adding this badge-like thing to his shirt and coloring it, though it was pretty useless, and adding these little dots to his belt, even if they're not really seen that much. And I'm doing his hair now. His hair is blue like the sky, so it's not really nice to see these two hues of blue right next to each other, but I just couldn't change his hair color because we all know that Jisung had blue hair in We Young. And I'm just adding some more details, and here's the final product. The next picture I'm doing is from Ocean Waves, and I'm using Johnny and Jaehyun because they're my ultimate bro TP. I really love them together, and I'm really sad about Night Night, but it's gonna be fine. They're still great friends and we still see them together. First I'm doing Jaehyun. I drew his hair and his clothes, made him all fluffy and stuff. His clothes were really complicated for me because I've never drawn a character with his hood on his head. So I started drawing and I drew his hair completely, and then I realized that half of his hair wouldn't be seen because of the hood. But at least it looks a bit more natural because I drew the whole thing and then I just deleted the parts that I did not need. And here I'm adding some shades to his hair and to the hoodie itself. I used a few different shades of purple so that there would be a bit more layering in the shading of the hoodie. And now I'm doing Johnny's hair. I made it super short considering it's Johnny, but Johnny in the picture I'm using as the reference picture had really short hair, and I did not want to alter it way too much. I mean, there was a period where he had really short hair, and that was Dutch era, and I think that the picture I used was from the Dutch era. I did not need to change his clothes a lot. I just changed the color and deleted the collar thing and changed the color of his pants to blue so that they would look like jeans or something. The thing that took me the most time during editing this picture were the letters on Johnny's shirt, and I'm not really sure why I wanted to add them, but I guess I wanted it to look authentic. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna add letters, but this is not Photoshop, so I can't really type letters, I have to draw them, and that way I need to alter the dimensions of the letters and make them look nice, I guess. Not really perfect, but they shouldn't look like they looked when I first wrote the word. But yeah, it was fine. My hand hurt a bit after I finished this, but the final product is what matters. Now, the next picture is also from Kiki's delivery service, and this time I decided to use Doyoung as Kiki. The thing about this picture is that Kiki is a girl and Doyoung is a boy, and Doyoung can wear skirts, but in this picture I was going to make him wear shorts, and because of that I had to mask a lot of things, and that required so much cropping, coping, and pasting that I was really frustrated, but in the end, it kind of looked nice. I had to copy a lot of these green parts, which are supposed to be trees, woods, or whatever. I guess it's trees because it's inside of a city. And I had to draw some characters from the background all over again because their faces were covered by her skirt or something like that. Here I'm drawing her broomstick, the parts that are missing, and I drew his foot, and at first I used a picture of Doyoung with curly dark hair, and that's why I started drawing curls. By the end, as you'll see, I realized that I can't really find clothes that were kind of associated to dark-haired, curly-haired Doyoung. And that's when I found this picture of Doyoung from the Seventh Sense Without You era, where he had orange hair, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna change his hair, but that meant I had to redraw his hair all over again, and I really wasn't up for that. So that's why he has curly hair, but it's orange, and he has clothes from the 7 Cents Without You era. Here I'm just drawing his clothes, shading it, drawing these numbers. Of course, I had to make this edit complicated too, and that's when I decided that I want his name to be written on the bag, and that took quite a lot of time, but I succeeded. And the final detail is his cap that flew off. Now, the final picture is from Howl's Moving Castle. Of course, this specific scene, because everyone who knows about Howl's Moving Castle knows about this scene, so of course I had to use it. And who would Howl be then? Not Yuta. Yeah, it's Yuta, and it's win-win. So I started with kind of adjusting Yuta's shirt to be more modern, I guess, so that it doesn't really look that stylish, old, however you want to call it. Then I started working on Win-Win. Changing his hair, changing his clothes, drawing pants, jacket, and everything that went with it. Here I'm coloring his hair, changing a bit of colors and stuff. At first, as you can see, I started drawing and coloring his shirt from one video of Seasoners Would Like to Know This Too. But then I realized it really looked ugly, so I just made his shirt be white, like always. You gotta be basic. Here I'm adjusting his pants and adding sneakers. And I'm just redrawing and recoloring some parts so that her hair can't be seen or anything that was covering Yuta's character. And the final thing I did was remove her skirt and redraw Yuta's legs, so, you know, so that he has 2 legs, not only one of them. And of course, the final thing I did was just kind of make Yuta's hair a bit shorter because he didn't have that long of a hair, and change his eye color to brown so that it looked a bit more like Yuta. And here's the final product. Thank you so much for supporting me throughout all these months and for liking my videos, and I hope you liked this type of a video, something that's a bit different than what I usually do, as I'm not always active on YouTube and I can't really read all the comments and messages you send me. I'm always on Twitter, and I have my Curious Cat, so if you have any questions you could post them there and I'll answer soon enough, I guess. So I hope you liked it. I hope you'll continue on watching my videos, and see you in the next video, I guess. Is that what YouTubers say these days? Yeah, anyways, thank you.